Hello. So I'm doing an energy check-in today for twin flames who are not in communication at this time. Um, this came about because for a couple of days I've been seeing 11:11 on the clock. I've taken screenshots and everything because I'm like, that's interesting. I mean, I tend to see 11:11. I would say at least once a week, but um, for some reason, you know how you sometimes get a lot of signs and synchronicities, and you get so used to them that you kind of like they become a normal part of your life, if you will. That happens to me sometimes, especially with certain angel numbers or repeating numbers in general, or any sign and synchronicity actually. But for some reason, when I'm extra called to one, I have to like pay attention a little bit more to a specific one. It really does resonate with me. It gets to me. So, or it gets to me in the sense of it's trying to really bring a message forward. And I'm thinking this is what this is. I'm obviously going to try and get to through this reading and see what it is about and see if the message that really was trying to kind of come through me is wanting to do just that. Even just now, I keep looking at my timer. I just saw 111 and 123. So it's 123 is let's go. It's time to do something. So even my throat is getting a little tight. It's there's something that needs to be, I think, communicated here. The fact that it's this is for those of you who are not in communication with your person. Maybe there's something that you need to hear at this time that they can only send to you energetically or spiritually. The fact that I'm bringing up those things that kind of like signs and synchronicities are so they're a part of my everyday life to a point where I sometimes don't even really dig a little deeper when it comes to them. I just accept them as, again, a sign and a synchronicity. However, it seems that for the collective here, those of you who especially have been seeing 11:11 recently, I want to say in the past week, you've probably have seen it more than twice. And it's, again, it's not something that maybe you've been on this spiritual journey for a while now, where it's not such a big deal, but at the same time, for some reason, you really have noticed that you've noticed 11:11. So and that is the twin number here. So it's also the card that represents it is the Four of Wands. So if we get that card, we're gonna know we're on the right track here. However, let's just see what it is that wants to come through. It feels like both of you want to say something to each other, or maybe there's one party that wants to say something to the other, but they seem unable to, or they have been trying to send this message. It just hasn't been received by the other person because maybe it gets lost in all the other signs and synchronicities, if you will. Maybe I'm hearing also for some of you, there could be a new style of communication, if that even makes sense. Because it is maybe, I feel like this is the collective that is at the point where they're working on their psychic connection. So you're working on your psychic abilities on your own, but at the same time, it kind of, because you both activate each other and work off each other's energy, believe it or not. Uh, I know you believe it because or else you wouldn't be here. But um, it's almost like you guys might be developing new skills here, or you might be unlocking new spiritual gifts. And it also requires you to connect with this, with your person, because you develop them at the same time, like the same, what is it? You're trying to like find the right frequency to align this new spiritual gift with each other so that you can use it to further your psychic communication, your energetic and spiritual communication, which is what this collective seems to be working on at this moment, which is hence why you're not in communication in the 3D, because you cannot do, I think, there is a point in the twin flame connection where you do come into union, and then you continue to develop those gifts together. However, in the separation point of this, there's a time where you guys are actually developing your skills on your own, but not on your own, because it's aligned with the with your person, but it's needed. The separation's needed so that you both of you can grow those skills. And actually, I'm hearing you have to master it on your own to then be able to, like, when you come into union, it becomes even more of an enhancement, if you will, or it becomes more enhanced. All right, I feel like I'm going around the bushes here with stuff, but let's see what's the. I'm gonna do. I was going to use 3 different decks just to check on each energy individually, the Eight of Wands. But Spirit just guided me to one deck, which is my old trusty deck. And I'm not sure if I want to divide masculine, feminine, and the connection in the middle. I think I'm just going to see what cards come out, and then we'll go from there. It's a very much feel your way through this kind of reading is what I'm being called to do, and that also speaks to you guys' energy. There's a lot of you guys. I'm sorry that the intro has been so long, but there there's so much about you, this journey being so individual to each pair of you guys, but at the same time, as a collective, this collective is all going through the same kind of energy where they're trying to figure out a lot of stuff. um, some of you in this collective have been having very strange dreams that link to your person, but your person's not necessarily there, so it's confusing to you. So you're having to work with your dreams and decipher what they mean to you. Some of you are going through it when it comes to angel numbers, a lot of repeating numbers, a lot of signs and synchronicities that again remind you of your person, but they don't feel like they're directly from them. So that's confusing in itself. And then there's some of you who use divination tools that I think have not been able to fully like pick up a deck or whatever it is that you do as a reader or as an intuitive. You haven't been able to tap into your, not necessarily your person. I don't think you guys read about your person. If you're in a twin flame, you know that you're not. It's really hard to tap into your own energy. It's more of like you just allow the downloads to come to you, but even that you feel off. You feel like you're not sure what to do, or even how to start to understand the shift that you're feeling, but you're feeling the shift. But you feel cut off from the regular things that you do to kind of decipher your spiritual journey in this twin flame connection. So, okay, I hope that kind of resonated, because I feel like that's what the intro was trying to get at, like the whole explanation of what's going on. So let's just see. Let's just see what needs to be brought forth here to kind of bring you guys clarity, the clarity that you've been seeking, if you will. Yeah, this is what it feels like. It feels like you have so much potential untapped, and some of them that you have tapped into, but it's, if this is looking to me like you have a lot of spiritual gifts, or a lot of spiritual abilities, or a lot of I want to say mediums of kind of divination tools and stuff like that that you're attracted to, that you know that you can use to kind of decipher this change in your life, but everything seems very confusing. It's almost like if you read runes, you pick them up, but you could get a message, but it doesn't feel complete. If you do tarot, you pick it up and you use it, but it doesn't feel right, or it doesn't feel like the whole story is being told to you. If you work with your dreams in the dream state, this very much looks like a dreamy scene. You're doing your thing as far as maybe logging your dreams, trying to decipher them. But again, you cannot pinpoint a specific thing. If you communicate with your guides, you feel that there's communication, but you feel at the same time like there's something that you're not seeing, something that still like not, you can't put your finger on it. It's what it feels like. This is exactly what that energy feels like. It's the Seven of Cups, spot on. And the fact that we're in Pisces season, interesting, the Ten of Wands. Your guides are saying here, the missing link, the thing that you cannot put your finger on is something that is trying to, you're trying to let go of. And this feels very much in the spiritual realm. You're doing the work. They're saying you might feel like you're in the dark or you're confused at this time by this energy that's trying to kind of, I think there's a need to um, drop everything in the sense of, even, you know what I mentioned in the beginning, where there seems to be a new thing unlocking, a new way of communicating. Well, it's almost like the wands are representing here to me some, there might be some guilt or resentment or some heavy energy that you and your person share when it comes to this connection. Maybe there's guilt because one of you used to be in a relationship before you met each other, or there's guilt because of not realizing who this person was to you when you were in a connection with them and now you're in separation. Whatever, there's some kind of heavy thing, some shadow work, because this looks like a shadow to me, that is in the spiritual realm. You're working on it. You're working on letting go. That is the missing link I'm hearing. That's like you cannot, you don't have full access to the story yet because you haven't completed a certain part of what kind of helps you understand this from a different perspective. You should know what this is, in the sense of, you know what you need to let go of, as it pertains to like any resentment that you still hold. It feels like resentment, or even like there's a sadness, or there is some kind of guilt of some kind. But it's almost like, if you have to go back to trusting divine timing and trusting that everything that happened for a reason here in this connection. Okay. Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, you're working at this. You are. If, you could feel like you're not, because the 8 makes me think of the figure 8, which is infinity. So you might feel like you are in this loop of like repeating things, or maybe repeating cycles with this person, with your person, whether it does feel like very much like repeating cycles as far as your energetic communication thing, because this feels very much like it wants to be talked about here, where you might feel like it's leading you nowhere. The fact that you have opened up yourself to not just 3D communication, you've accepted that you have to work on your energetic communication with this person. However, you might feel like while you're working on that, it has led you nowhere. It's led you to more confusion, but it really hasn't. It's led you to an ending and a beginning with a 10. So every ending is birthing a new beginning, I'm hearing. And I've never phrased that way. So that's interesting. So I think you putting, both of you are working at this. Both of you are trying to put down some kind of burden. Yeah, look, the World. An ending, but a beginning. When I say that this connection is highly protected, and you guys as your individual selves are very protected, there are 4 very prominent spirit guides here. that the fact that I'm reading this card this way today, very interesting. It's like you have everything you need to start this new cycle. You've done the work, and I think the last little step of the work is actually you kind of realizing that whatever burden you've been holding on to when it comes to this relationship, it's time to kind of have like a clean slate, if you will. Um, yeah, you have everything you need. it's it's almost like it feels like you feel like you've been working so much and you have nothing to show for it, because you see how she's naked. She just has a little like scarf and then two wands, I want to say. But spirit is saying that's enough. You have yourself, and you have the growth that you've done and everything that you've learned along with this journey. No one can take that away from you, and no one's gonna even try. You're very protected, like immensely protected. You have very four strong spirit guides here that they could really, you know what, it feels like two are from you and two are from your person, and they both overlook over both of you as individuals, but also as the connected soul that you are. This confusing energy, this feeling of putting in work and seeing no results. They're saying that's not true. That's almost like the illusion of it all. So I'm gonna read this backwards for some reason now. It's like you have been putting in the work. You have been closing the cycles that you need to, especially when it comes to letting go of resentment and guilt and burdens. And then while doing that, you feel very confused at the same time, or things are confusing to you. They're saying, pay that no mind. That's almost part of the illusion. I think there's an end coming to that illusion. You're going to very much step into a very powerful time in your life. And this is something that your person is also going to achieve. Even from the beginning, this collective feels like you're hand in hand. You're not in communication. You don't know what each other is doing. You really don't even check each other's social media or anything like that. No one is keeping tabs on anybody here. You truly have committed to your growth. But it's almost like that's the double-edged sword of this kind of relationship or connection, if you will, or mission. um, you think you're just growing on your own, but you're not. It's a driving force. Your person gives you a lot of energetic feedback as far as like growth and everything, and so do you. You inspire each other tremendously, even without being in communication. I think that's also interesting that it shows here that you've completed the fool's journey, because the major arcana, this is the last one of the major arcana. It starts with the fool, ends with the world. It's almost like you guys have completed a major cycle in your life, but you don't even know it about each other. You don't even know it that you've done it yourself. But it's going to be revealed to you here. It's very interesting. Oof, yeah, that's that pain. Well, I like that. I can't say that I don't. The Hermit and Strength. Nice. I think the confusion is a lot in the heartbreak that happened here. And again, the closing of the cycle of burdens, it's actually came along with you walking away. I just said it. It literally is confirming what I just said, where you guys are not in communication. You walked away from this because you've learned that your lesson, as far as you have to heal your own heart. You're the one who has to pour into yourself in order to be able to even have enough to give to others. And that's what you've been working on. You've been working on loving yourself, on a lot of self-love and acceptance. And this ending, this culmination, this graduation, I want to say, has come from the fact that I have 9, 8, 8 and 9 here. A lot of eights in your reading as well. Okay. There's that infinity again. So the fact that, look at the bottom of the deck, the Eight of Swords. That feels like it's this energy here. Um, you reach this point of enlightenment. Okay, you're about to kind of unlock or see things for what they are, if you will. There's going to be a perspective shift for you. And it all comes from the work that you've been putting into yourself, but simultaneously you've been putting it into the relationship as well, the connection, if you will. You both are coming through as very strong and very strong-willed, but very open-hearted people. And I think that that's part of, like, it's almost like you're being commended for that. You're, because this energy takes a lot of strength. Okay, this ties back to 8 and 8, right? But walking away from what no longer serves you, especially when it comes to love, especially when you have to mend a lot of, like, it feels like both of you have three major significant relationships that have really wrecked your shit, as far as they've triggered abandonment issues, that they've triggered not being lovable. They've triggered conditions when it comes to love, and you having to walk away from that, and then deciding to close those cycles, to then work on yourself. This also takes a lot of strength. Having to come back to yourself, pour back into yourself, even though you come from a very broken place when it comes to love, not just of self, but of others and how you receive love. This in itself takes a lot of strength as well. You guys are very strong people at a soul level. And all of this in the name of knowledge, in the pursuit of your betterment, but at a soul level. You crave growth. And that's why this cycle of yours, this path, or the you're you're you as an individual are so protected here. You're it's admirable what you've been doing, what you've been working on, even if it seems minuscule to you in this moment. In the grand scheme of things, which you're about to kind of be able to see, like a brighter spectrum of all of this, when this kind of confusion starts to dissipate, which it's going to, because with the Eight of Swords being at the bottom, it feels like the only thing stopping you from seeing this is a bit of your own, but it serves a purpose, okay? That you being in the dark about a certain things also serves a purpose. I don't want you, again, this is part of that, where it's like, it's okay if you haven't been able to see the grand scheme of things here. That was part of the plan, if you will. You needed to be in the dark a bit so that you could work on yourself, if you will, because it drives you to, yeah, it drives you to taking stock of everything that you have a power of changing in your life. You are the magician here. Justice being at the bottom of the deck takes me back into karmic justice, into your spirit guides, your not even your spirit guides. What I want to say is, it's almost like the path up to this point has been divinely orchestrated, is what I want to say. There's that this is very interesting. There's been an order and a rhyme to all of this, right? It's almost like it might seem chaotic, but you're about to unlock seeing things almost like from the point of view of your spirit guides, or of your higher self, for some reason, for some of you. Now I'm hearing as above, so below. So you might be tapping into, quite literally, seeing things as above, right? You've been in the below, you've been in the working stages, you've been in the grind down here, hermit mode. You've been kind of like in the journey of self-discovery, of uncovering truth about maybe this connection in itself, and you're getting there. It's like, again, I want to say graduation. There's a graduation coming. As above, so below seems to be very significant here too. You have all the tools you need. It's almost like they've always been in front of you, but now you have the sight to be able to see them, perceive them for what they are. And it's coming in divine timing, in divine order. And I have to add, it's karmic justice at this moment. This next phase of your life, of this next phase of even this connection, it's it comes as karmic justice. It's, you guys are ready for this next step here. Very interesting. Six of Swords and the Hierophant. Yeah, divine order. You see all the pillars here. There's structure to this. They're saying you might feel like you've gone in circles, or you have gone in circles. Maybe you have, but you've just completed a lot of karmic cycles, it feels like, which is why you're ready for this next step. And you guys are moving away from, I feel, this confusion here. This very heavy energy is what you're walking away from. And your hard work has been paying off. You've been putting a lot of work into yourself. And again, it's very admirable. I cannot stress that enough. Your guys want me to keep saying that. Everything, every progress you've made up to this point has been very significant. You guys, don't even second guess your abilities for a second. There is, I'm hearing, if you've ever truly have believed in us as like your spirit team, supporting you, giving you signs and synchronicities, this is a moment where you should not stop believing in us. This is the moment where the faith, it's not that your faith is being tested, it's almost like your faith is being reassured. It's going to be extra supported. You are going to see, again, it's almost like you're going to get sight and perspective in regards to this connection, because you are ready for it. You've done the work. You really have gone within. You've become a magician. You tap into the spiritual and to the subconscious, the unconscious. There's a lot of things you've unlocked. Maybe they kept you confused, but now there's no confusion anymore. You're moving towards a very, the calm water makes me think of a reflective pool. So it's almost like where it was turmoil, and you could see and tap into your spirituality, but there was a lot of ripples and things did not seem what they were, because everything was kind of, what is it? When the water is like very choppy, but now you're moving into calmer waters. There's like a reflective pool. There's an easier way to see things. And I cannot stop looking at this card. It comes from a place of you working on a lot of self-growth and self-love. It's almost like that's how you unlock this, because you believe in yourself now. You believe in your abilities, and in doing that, it's almost like you unlock things that you didn't even know you've had in your arsenal, because now you believe in yourself. Wow. The bottom of the deck, Temperance. Lots of healing has been done here and will continue to be done here. Very interesting. You go from 1 cup to 2. There's a balance, and again, the divine wants to let you know that there's a way of going about this, that maybe you haven't been too what's the word that I want to use, or what's the right phrase I should say. Maybe up to this point you've kind of been just going along with the fact that I have so many major arcana. All of this was major arcana, you guys. That's crazy. When I'm telling you that this collective is highly protected and highly divinely orchestrated and guided when it comes to both of you, even like being in union, being in communication. Everything that has ever happened here between you and your person has happened for a reason. If you need a place to kind of uh, start at and kind of like start figuring things out, I'm hearing go back in your journals, go back in your screenshots of things, and like that you've kept a lot of what would you consider signs and synchronicity. If you've written them down, this is part of this journey. If you haven't done that, I don't think this is your collective. This is a collective where you knew from the start this is your divine counterpart, this is your twin flame. And even without knowing what that even meant, you still just approached this connection that way, or you just saw it for what it was without having the explanations. And you've gathered a lot of evidence. Okay, it's not even to convince yourself. You don't need to convince yourself because you know at a soul level who this is to you. But you've collected all of this evidence, or all of these memories, whether it's by writing them down, by having a screenshot of something specific, by having screenshots of a lot of angel numbers. I don't know, there's a lot of stuff that everybody in this journey kind of collects that they need to, because it's inherently what comes along with this journey. And then you've also can look back on those to kind of gain a little perspective if you need to. But the divine is saying you don't even need to do that. It's about it's going to be time. There's a time coming, there's a moment here coming where a lot of things that maybe you wrote down or you kept that didn't make sense are going to make sense to you. And that is a beautiful energy, because it feels like the confusion that you're experiencing is it's almost too, I'm seeing in my mind right now, it's like in order to start the race, you take 2 steps back so that you can really plunge forward. It's kind of like that. You were at the starting point of this race, and then the confusion that's happening at this moment is you taking a couple of steps back to be able to just full force move forward. For some reason there's a recoil, there's like you recoiling a little bit to then plunge forward. There's something like that. I don't know, that's just what I keep seeing, or it's what they want me to talk about. But all right, I hope that kind of made sense, and I hope this part of the reading helped you a bit. The introduction, the channeling, and the tarot. Let's see what the oracles have to say here. Let's see if kind of I want to use the oracles as advice, okay? Because I feel like I was just explaining everything, but I wasn't really giving you advice. The thing is that the advice, I think it comes straight from source for you guys. You guys don't really seek advice. You more of the Twin Flame Collective feels like you see these readings to kind of reassure you of the energy that you've been feeling and picking up on, because you guys are very highly intuitive and highly you're very capable when it comes to reading energies or experiencing the journey, because that's part of the journey, being very tapped into collective energies, but also to your own connection. So I feel like you watch these readings to kind of reassure you of, oh yeah, I've been feeling that, okay, that's my confirmation. And that's really how your guys want you to use it, because you could, outside of you, it's how you get confirmation, but from within you start feeling this energy and these shifts, and you know what they mean even before you get the confirmation. But the confirmation is always nice. Yeah. Look at this. Surrender to the divine, full moon. So I mentioned it, there's a need for a surrender of um, some perspective or some way of thinking. Something is shifting here. They're saying everything is divinely guided. So please just trust in divine timing here. Surrender. Interesting. A time to give rather than take. New moon in Virgo. As soon as I flipped this card over, you know what came to mind? That maybe your person's going to reach out to you for maybe some advice. Maybe this confusion you're feeling is coming. You're picking up on their confusion. They're trying to make sense of things, and when they do, the advice here for the person watching me is to not retaliate, not see the communication that's coming through as an opportunity for you to get what you want, in the sense of maybe you think union is coming out of this communication, or you think, seeing them, or whatever, building a relationship again is coming out of this. Maybe it's time for you to kind of be very receptive and see what it is that they're asking about, kind of wondering about, and approach it with a very open mind. No expectations, if you will, is what this card is telling me. And also think about the fact that it would have been nice when you were going through things if you had someone to talk to, and the fact that you could be the person, that your person can reach out to you to talk to, is very significant, and it's a very beautiful opportunity that you have here. Obviously, it's up to your discretion. You do what you want. There's free will. Obviously, you don't have to talk to this person unless you want to. But I don't think that would serve you very well, because I don't think it's in your nature to be cunning and what is it, petty, when it comes to this connection. You're a very loving soul, loving energy. So it's in your nature to give and help. Don't What I'm hearing here is, don't sell yourself short when it comes to helping others. Even if maybe, I don't think you are the person who feels like, oh, if I went through this, everybody should go through this, and then they can, be at my level or whatever. I don't think you're like that. I don't think you approach anything in life like that. If you can help someone out so that they don't have to go through the same things that you went through, I feel like you would help them. This is what the divine wants you to really remember, okay? That it is okay to give rather than take. Every time you get the opportunity to help someone out so that they don't have to go through the same struggles or pain that you've been through, take it, because it's in your nature, and it's part of who you are. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to help you along this journey as well. This message very much feels like the person that's watching me, okay? Obviously, everything here is for you, but this very much feels about, like, if your person reaches out trying to understand what all of this means, or even like one specific thing, it's not, I don't think it's the moment to be petty and kind of, what is it? No one has to work for it when it comes to love and kindness, okay? Don't fall into that narrative of, well, you weren't here when I needed, that kind of thing. Don't fall into that. If it's in your nature to not fall into it, please don't do it. It's going to hurt afterwards if you're mean to whoever's reaching out for help here. Yeah. It's a time to release negativity, full moon in Scorpio. It's a time to let bygones be bygones here. Maybe this is the 10 of Wands that came up. Is let go of the guilt, the resentment, the what ifs, and why didn't this happen when this should have happened. It's not about that anymore. We're reaching a new perspective here. I like how there's two full moons again, an ending but a beginning. There's a lot of releasing, and then there's a new beginning in the middle. Yeah, don't let your past hold you back. Your South Node, The past in this relationship, don't let that kind of obstruct what's trying to come through energetically, spiritually, and maybe even in the physical. Wow. And then communication is key with another new moon. The new moon in Gemini. Gemini season could be significant. Your person could be a Gemini or Virgo or Scorpio. See, there's some kind of communication. It could just be like a spiritual, in a spiritual sense, for some of you, telepathically for some of you. Just make sure you're open, okay? Make sure that you keep an open mind and an open heart, okay? Again, you've gone through heartbreak. You know that it's not the end all be all. It won't define you forever. It's something that you work through and you learn from, right? Maybe that's what keeps you a little bit scared to fully open to this connection again, especially energetically, spiritually, especially if it's in the physical. However, don't don't let the possibility or the lingering little whisper of your mind telling you, what if we get hurt again, this is going to hurt again, or don't let that hold you back from this connection and building this relationship in whatever way is presented to you next. Okay. And then the bottom of the deck is beautiful as well. Expect powerful change, a new moon eclipse. Beautiful energy, you guys. Okay, I'm gonna get some soul cards. Well, there it is. Forgiveness. I acknowledge the harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. This is the lesson thing that was coming up with the 10 of Wands and the 7 of Cups and the 3 of Swords. This is right here. Forgiveness of self, because maybe you feel like you've been foolish when it comes to this person and this relationship, but also of this person. There's a need to just forgive, let the bygones be bygones, so that you guys can both it's like stepping into a new, almost like it feels like a new reality, a new opportunity with each other again. Wow. Adversity. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. Maybe this is why forgiveness needs to come in here, because with forgiveness comes the understanding that everything that you've been through, you've gotten through it, and there's a purpose to it all. Maybe you don't have it yet, a concise, idea of what the purpose is, but you know that there's a bigger, a bigger thing that you're working towards here. So you accept the challenges. Wow, imagination. I embrace and nourish the creative aspects of my life. Oh, sorry, of my mind. The fact that I changed that, that's interesting. There's a card that fell. It's significant. My goodness, is it significant? Service. I feel good when I can help others. This is this card. This is this message. I feel and I know that some of you guys in this collective are going to have your person reach out to you for understanding purposes, maybe for they're trying to figure things out, just like you were in the beginning, maybe. Because again, it's like a brand new, there's a new dawn here happening. There's a new something coming through here for a lot of you. And it's going to trigger these energies here. It's going to trigger your ability to forgive, to extend a lot of understanding to your person, and it's going to also trigger your purpose, one of your purposes, which is being of service to others, and that includes even people that have hurt you in the past deeply. I feel good when I can help others. Now if you are in a position to be able to help someone else, even if they hurt you in the past, but now you have it's like you have foresight, you have perspective, you've gained perspective about your path up to this point, your journey, your life journey up to this point, and you can extend this energy of understanding, empathy, sympathy, kindness, and loving, and just be of help to someone else. Why not do it? Is what the divine is saying here. Remember who you are here. Remember how lovely and kind and loving and giving you are. Okay, it is not a fault, and it is not something that makes you foolish. Okay, it's just who you are. It's okay to be that way. Maybe in the past it has, you didn't have the boundaries in place so that people wouldn't take advantage of you. But that in itself became what? It became your challenge, and it became something you learned from. So it's okay. It'll happen for a reason as well, okay? And obviously I'm not talking here about, so for some reason I always have to say this, but I am not talking about someone that's abusive to you, someone that has physically, mentally, whatever it might be, abused you and like hurt you, or it's not a toxic relationship that I am talking about here. You know who I am talking about. You know the person who I am talking about. You know that you have perspective as far as your connection. You know that things were not done in a malice way. It was just kind of like the way life unfolded for both of you, how your relationship unfolded for both of you. This is not someone that was gaslighting you. This is not someone that was love bombing and narcissistic and mean and hurtful on purpose. This is, you know who this is, okay? Obviously, you've learned your lessons, and you've learned who you need to have strict boundaries with, and you know who you are in no communication with for a very specific reason, and that you would never ever talk to them again. That's, you know who this is, right? So, and you know who it's not. Is what I have to add on there. You know who your person is, and you know who they're not, okay? So there's no confusion as far as that goes. Make sure that you employ this giving and loving and kind energy into those people that, not saying that everyone doesn't deserve you showing up as yourself, which is again that loving, kind soul. However, because you are that way for yourself, you're not that way for other people, whether other people can give you or perceive you as. But you also know who does not deserve that kind of interaction with you, or doesn't deserve you being in their life or them being in your life, okay? I just wanted to give that little disclaimer just in case. Maybe it's some of you needed that reminder. All right. I'm just going to close this off here with one unicorn card. Let's just see what your guides want you to kind of focus on here at this moment. Wow, awareness. Live in the moment. Be conscious of your thoughts. Look for signs and guidance. I'm laughing because I almost thought I picked up two cards. I'm laughing because this is how we started this reading, right? I started all of this by saying, I have gotten so many signs and synchronicities that it's almost to the point where I'm desensitized to them. But here your guys are saying part of this journey is being always aware, always in the moment. Whenever I'm hearing now, if you're seeing signs and synchronicities, if you're seeing repeating numbers, if you don't even know what the message is in that moment, that's okay. But maybe it's a reminder for you to really be in the moment. Really just feel your body in that moment. Take a couple of breaths. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, it's a time to tap in. And maybe that's enough, okay? That's enough for whatever energy needed to come in, for it to come in, and then eventually it'll all make sense to you, I'm hearing. But this is beautiful. It's a beautiful card, first of all. I just want you to see there's like enlightenment coming in, and it's a beautiful message as well. Let me see the bottom of the deck here. Yeah. Support. Ask for help, get more rest, and nurture yourself. Yep. I think this is what you guys have been doing, which is why there's a lot of support all around you. I saw it in the World card, and I've never really read that card in that way. So that was significant as well. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this brought you guys a lot of confirmation, because I feel like it was needed. You needed to feel, or hear someone else mention how you've been feeling, so that you know that you're not alone. And then on top of that, I really hope that this brought you a little bit of clarity as well, as far as they don't want to say too much of what's coming in. They just want you to keep being yourself, keep being that loving, kind soul that you are, and everything's going to work out eventually, okay? Trust divine timing, surrender to the divine, really pay attention to those signs and synchronicities, and you're all good. You're all set here. You guys are a beautiful collective, and you're on a beautiful journey. Quite frankly, it feels like you could even tell this story one day that you're living right now, and people will be they will fall in love with the journey that you speak about, because it's a beautiful one. So once again, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next reading.